On Thursday, security forces loyal to the administration removed a sitting U.S. senator from Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem's news conference. That's right. The explosive event was caught on video. Senator Alex Padilla was removed from Noem's press conference as he basically was asking questions about, hey, there's that military occupation that's going on in LA right now. Yeah, is that not a problem? But he didn't even get that far, as you can see.
Every single person that has been able to do this. Also, I want to talk specifically to the rioters and to the politicians in Los Angeles.
The fact of the matter is, a half a dozen violent criminals that you're rotating on your.
I also want to talk about specifically how many of our ICE agents have been doxxed.
Sir, hands up, hands up. I'm Senator Alex Padilla. I have questions for the secretary because the fact of the matter is a half a dozen violent criminals that you're rotating on your.
I also want to talk about specifically how many of our ICE agents have been doxxed.
On the ground. Hands behind your back. Hands behind your back.
If you let my hands go, I'd stand behind my back.
All right. Cool. Other hand. Lay flat. Lay flat.
Other hand, sir. Other hand.
There's no recording allowed out here.
I did not know.
There's no recording allowed out here per FBI, right?
For what, I'm sorry?
There's no recording allowed out here.
That's my boss. I have to
There's no
record
recording
everything
allowed
for
out
us.
here. You can record. There's no recording allowed out here.
I'm not a member
There's
of the
no
press.
recording allowed.
I understand that, sir, but
Oh, am I not allowed to record you? Really? Really? Why not? Why not? Do you not want people to see you assaulting a congressperson for daring to ask a question? It kind of sounds like it, you know? And it's funny because this is probably just fat material for the Fox News audience anyway. They love the state-sanctioned violence against Democrats. So, but look, for everyone else who's not insane, the optics here for Kristi Noem are horrific. So, of course, with that, she would have to go into spin mode, claiming that, oh, no, I had no idea who Alex Padilla was. Well, that's just some random person, some rando that was threatening me. You know, you came up to the podium. Oh, my God, I was so concerned. In fact, here's DHS spokeswoman Tricia McLaughlin first saying this, quote, Senator Padilla chose disrespectful political theater, oh, the disrespect, and interrupted a live press conference without identifying himself. You saw the video. He was saying, I am Senator Alex Padilla. He identified himself. Without or having his Senate security pin on as he lunged towards Secretary Noem. Really? Lunged. And here we go. Here we go. The spin. I mean, obviously they're using the, oh my God, scary Latino man lunging at me. Oh, I had to do something. Yeah. That excuse is being used to downplay this extremely fascist display of power. But again, the spin continues later on Fox News.
That nobody knew who he was. He didn't say who he was, that until he was already had been lunging forward and people were trying to detain him for quite a period of time.
You're saying that nobody knew who he was, and if they did, he would have been treated differently.
This man burst into a room, started advancing towards the podium, interrupting an opening statement, elevating his voice, shouting questions. People tried to stop him from interrupting the press conference. He refused and continued to lunge towards the podium, and that is when he was removed from the room. So the way that he acted was completely inappropriate. It wasn't becoming a U.S. senator or a public official, and perhaps he wanted the scene, and that's what he wanted. But I think the American people are sick of this kind of action. I think the American people are tired of this. They just want the truth, and they just want to know what's happening, and that's what we were trying to provide.
Oh, you see, he interrupted me. He was lunging at me. You know, he asked for it. He was asking for it. So, you know, I'm the reasonable one here. I am the victim here. I'm the real victim. Really? Really? Yep, you're the victim.
Really?
No, okay. Wow, there was nothing reasonable about Kristi Noem's response. She had her security. The fact of the matter is, she had her security forcibly handcuff a sitting senator that was asking questions at a press conference. Do you know who does that? Fascists, authoritarians. Again, the entire claim about her, you know, saying that, oh, I didn't know who he was. I didn't know who he was at all. It was just some random guy coming up to the podium. What do you expect me to do? Completely false. You heard it. He identified himself. And at that moment, they should have, well, let him go, right? But they didn't. They didn't. Of course not. Because you know why? They love using state violence against their political opponents. How much more do you have to see to understand that? In that same press conference, by the way, right before Padilla was assaulted, yes, assaulted, Noem admits that her goal is to get rid of democracy in California.
We are staying here to liberate this city from the socialist and the burdensome leadership that this governor and that this mayor have placed on this country and what they have tried to insert into this city.
Understand what she just said. She is saying that the military will occupy an American city until it is liberated from their democratically elected leadership. I don't know, maybe that's what set Padilla off. Because it's fascism. Look, at this moment, federal forces have been illegally deployed to provoke justification for a further authoritarian crackdown in LA, in a city where a lot of the violence that we have seen has actually been provoked and caused by law enforcement, specifically ICE with their illegal immigration raids. That's it. This is, again, putting the military there. The National Guard, the Posse Comitatus Act specifically forbids using federal military forces for domestic law enforcement. That's it. It is a violation of states' rights and constitutional governance. You know the things that they supported, they claimed to support? They never did. They never supported it. They don't care about states' rights. Never. They don't care about the Constitution. And not only that, but look, we've spent years, if not longer, okay, hearing about Obama and the Democrats are going to use the military to invade red states. They're going to take over. Really? Do you remember the freak out that they had back in, I don't know, 2014, 2015, over Obama's, like, Operation Jade Helm? Oh, yes. You know what? Pepperidge Farm remembers. Okay. Jim Shea of the Hartford Courant wrote that the conspiracy theories included a psychological operation aimed at getting people used to seeing military forces on the streets. That's what the right wing was saying. And Alex Jones, by the way, huge purveyor of this conspiracy theory. Okay. So that they do not realize when an invasion actually takes place, or it's an international operation aimed to seize people's guns, of course. Recently closed Walmarts used by the military to stockpile supplies for Chinese troops who will be arriving to disarm Americans. And a military plan to round up political dissidents and remove any key political figures who may be against the imposition of martial law. Other conspiracy theories have described Jade Helm 15 as a secret plot to impose martial law, confiscate guns, invade Texas, and institute total population control. These conspiracy theories, man. Once again, every accusation is a confession. This is what they want to do to blue states, and guess what? For California, they're doing it. And they're doing it with permission so far from a federal judge. In fact, on Thursday, a federal appeals court temporarily blocked another judge's ruling that said that President Trump's federalizing of California National Guard troops and deploying them to Los Angeles was illegal, and ordered them to return control of the guard to the rightful Governor Gavin Newsom. Okay, the rightful person. Judge Charles Breyer stayed his order from taking effect until Friday to give the Trump administration time to appeal the decision, which of course they did. The Ninth Circuit, in temporarily granting the request, scheduled a hearing for Tuesday. A 3-judge panel of the appellate court will now consider arguments then on whether to extend a stay of Breyer's order or allow his ruling to take effect, which would again stop the federalization of these National Guard troops who don't want to be there. They don't want to be there. And guess what? The Marines don't want to be there either. They don't. So now, Breyer's order came just hours after a hearing in U.S. District Court in San Francisco, where he had questioned the lawyers for the federal government on Trump's rationale and authority for the move. Remember, they're claiming that, oh, we've got the authority to do so because California is under rebellion or invasion. No, it's not. Nowhere near it. Okay, nowhere near it. So Breyer says, at this early stage of the proceedings, the court must determine whether the president followed the congressionally mandated procedure for his actions. He did not. His actions were illegal, both exceeding the scope of the statutory authority and violating the 10th Amendment to the United States Constitution. He must therefore return control of the California National Guard to the governor of the state of California forthwith. He added that regardless of the outcome of the California lawsuit against the administration, Trump's federalizing of the Guard without consent of Newsom alone threatens serious injury to the constitutional balance of power between the federal and state governments and sets a dangerous precedent for future domestic military activity. Yes, all of this, everything that they are doing, this administration shows you who they are. Authoritarian fascists who never believed in this country or in the Constitution or our laws. Our president is a convicted criminal, and his cabinet is stuffed with sycophantic yes men who are intent on following through with the dismantling of our democracy and replacing it with a Christo-fascist dictatorship. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share, subscribe, hit the bell icon in order to get notified whenever a new video is released. And if you want to support independent, progressive media through this difficult time where it seems like everybody is shutting down, you can become a member on our YouTube page, you can become a subscriber on Facebook, or you can go to my Patreon. It's patreon.com/Jeff Waldorf. Thank you.